So you start this healing journey and you start to shine and evolve and go more into your creative self. Was everyone on board for this?
Funny that in my head I was like, I bet she gonna ask me this. First, I was shocked at how much people didn't know the difference between a fashion designer and seamstress. To be honest, like that was a shocker for me because so that's how it became known like a way I had to be like you had to educate. You know, you can't just decide this is what you're doing. You also have to educate and show people what it's about. But people was like, you have some people that legit was angry that I started designing only my original stuff. Like, could just tell me she ain't doing the replication some more. How she sure I ain't gonna like it. But if I'm not for you, then you find somebody else. You know what I mean? If you want a ponytail here, so you don't go to somebody that only knows how to do bobs.
Right, right.
And I don't understand why people would get vexed for me for doing that, where it's me that turned it down the money.
Right.
Then you bring something to me and they say I don't want to do it. It's me that's losing out. I turned out so much braids last year. I could have met thousands of dollars. I mean, the amount of braids that come to me. But I meant that I was waiting on the braid that wanted me to design for her. You know, I started to have to make short-term sacrifices for long-term gains. And that was the space I was in. But the thing is, people do not see the background. They're going to see you make the stuff for them to feel good. They're going to people gaining compliments and stuff. But they never was there when I sat down from my machine start something at 6 a.m. and by 6 p.m. I ain't finished. And it's something that I know I could put up quick. There aren't there when the tears flowing or when I feel stifled because they're stitching something. And my mind they're like, if you do this, if you do this, if you do this, it will look 10 times better. But you have to stay in that box because this is what the person wants. You know what I mean? For a creative, that's like putting me in prison.
So that you resist being stifled.
Correct.
So that from what I'm getting from you is that you're empowered by your creative energy.
Yes, I am. I am because I never thought I would be doing the things that I'm doing now. And the reason why I'm doing them is not only because I get out and say I just gonna use my talent. That is self love that you see coming out, you know, like oh jeez.
We're on a roll today. Join us again next
People
week for
don't
the waterfalls.
understand. Like that is self love that you
Why
see.
do you describe it as self love? Break this down for us. Because you know the internet likes to say self love is spas and massages.
Yeah, no.
Tell me why this is self love.
It is self love for me because I had to see that what I had to offer was good enough. You know, I had to believe that I was an amazing person. You know, I had to believe that, Gaynelle, if this is the way God made you, this is what you're supposed to do to your best of your ability. I just want them people like, if I can do something, I can go to the all out.
I've seen some of those videos.
Yeah. All out. I've always been that person.
Like who buys boxes of masks because they thought of making a
dress? So it's self love because I had to love the person that I was. I had to love the talents that God gave me and understood that I needed nothing else. You sit down on social media and you will see people go viral or get certain opportunities, and it could be very daunting as a creative. It could be very daunting, but when you look from within and realize that you aren't behind, you are not behind. Everything that happening has already been written, basically. So then I had to start to realize, love yourself because I love your craft, love your ideas, everything that comes with you. You have to love because when you fight against it, nothing is going to flow. I believe that everybody, and I don't talk with this often. I mean, I would have got in depth with it because I promised myself that only till when I get to the Met Gala that I would share it. But well, the actual story. But I'm also a miracle baby, right? So it's like when I heard those words shine, I understood in that moment what it was because I knew that I had a greater purpose. I could not be here, I could not be here, but God still decided, you been up on that earth because I got something special for you to do. So
and what I think you failed to have acknowledged, you might have thought of it, but you didn't say it, is the difference between the scarcity mentality. The scarcity mentality says, if I turn this down, how am I going to make money? What's going to happen? But part of self love is understand and being comfortable enough in a space that says, even if I say no,
hey,
something else is coming.
Hey, I had just when I was about to do the reset, which was when I reset everything and come back because I had shut 2 months before that. I just shut my business 2021, 2 months. Because remember, I married myself in the beginning in January.
I don't know. We're gonna have to talk about this. I don't know about this marriage.
So I didn't even realize how much like it was all a journey to bring me to this place. And I did the reset, and I remember somebody at that time that I had as a friend said, "You don't gotta do that. When people message you, you can tell that I use a designer because they think that you gonna gotta fall off." And I was already in like I don't care if I fall off because I was really alienating all of my clientele, by doing that, you know. But I was willing to do it because my peace came. It was no longer up for compromise. It was no longer. I just had to realize the peace and the self love was what was going to make everything else fall into place. I stopped catering my life around my work and started catering. I stopped letting my life revolve around my work and flip the switch. So now my work comes into my life rather than my work being just my life.
That takes significant courage because most people will do what they have to do to survive, which is normal, a survival instinct, so that their whole lives revolve around finances and careers because you have to eat, you have to feed your family, but it's also fear based.
Correct.
So, and that is why we tend to neglect our mental wellness because we'll do jobs, and I'm the employment attorney. We're doing the jobs that drive us into the mud and literally make us sick, whether it's the environment, socially or actually like AC vent and thing. Are we running ourselves into the ground? We're not eating properly, we're not exercising, are we certainly not spending any time looking inward introspection because we're too tired from working so hard.
Exactly, yeah.
So what you're saying is you flipped it and said, I'm going to focus on me,
and
the things that empower me and make me the better person. And then everything else came after.
And I realized that it just started to flow, and I was like, this is what you were supposed to be doing. And I think that's where a lot of people that have problems because, as you say, you gotta get to a point where you're willing to sacrifice. There had many days that I was brat, but I was so happy.
I fully know what you mean. I remember the journey to self and self-love is nothing more than an awakening, when I can't be that way anymore. I can't live this way anymore. I can't be with that person anymore. It starts with an awakening.
Yep.
The map does not roll out in front of you. Anybody who tell you so, a lie. You can do as much vision board as you want. I am telling you, it is almost blindness with hope.
Correct. Yep, it's all faith. Yep.
That's all it is.
And then the days that you feel like you do not know or you're not sure, that's what I say about seeing and hearing. God will send something to say, I still hear,
But you see what is important, and I'm going to go back to her line on our table and being next to her fabric. What is important is centering, because answers come in the stillness, answers come in the quiet. And that is why we often don't find ourselves in busyness because there's no time to hear. And the voice tends to be very small.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to take the time to look inward. And she found the space that brings that out to her. She said it's her studio, near the fabric, lying on the table if she must, because these are the things that help to center her. For me, it's nature. So I bring plants inside.
Right.
If I can't get to go outside, I find the place that I am centered. And the answers tend to come. And that's what you'll have to do as well. You have to find the thing that centers you. It could be music, or music centers me as well. It could be being around people or being by yourself. Whatever it is, if you're not willing to find the time to center yourself, you're not going to get the direction you need when you just came into awakening and don't know what you need to do next.
And he will show up too. Even in that time when you ain't have no money, you know what going on. I remember one day I was there you turning down the work left and right and you got some bills to pay. Something, and I get a call the same time and this one was like, I hear now that go and deposit some money to your account and you pay early for my wedding. And I was like, Lord, I know that was you. Or some days, people talk about miracles, and the topic is like water turning into wine and stuff like that. But I just see small miracles often. Like sometimes I will be there finishing that outfit and I run about in my studio like a chicken without a head looking for where to put this it. Because I could survive my clutter so in my studio sometimes to see. Yeah, so I was looking up for this thing running with the chicken without a head, and I say, God, you gotta show me what it is. And when I look on the table, I look at this place. I went there 3, 4, 5 times, and is it there like, hello? Yeah, like them things for me is like God is continually saying, I got you back, Just do what you gotta do. I got your back. So as you say, it's just faith.
It is faith. And,
Mm-hmm.
I like to carry it outside of God because, we all have different belief
True.
systems. And, it's is
Well, it could
what
be
you
higher
call your
creator,
higher
correct,
power.
universe, whatever.
Yes,
Because
it's
I
what
always say
you,
because we have different cultures and different races and different kinds of people. I might say God, somebody may say Allah, somebody may say Jah, whatever. I
yes.
still, as long as you believe that there's a higher power and somebody guiding you, then that's all you need to know.
And more often than not, it's within yourself
Is
in
it
some
in
way.
yourself? Yep.
So
God
let's
is in
talk
you.
about this wedding. I'm so curious about this thing. Like, yeah, forgot send me picture and thing or tell me where it is.
Alright, let me be real. A lot of the time, as females, we just get affected by relationships and stuff like
All
that.
the time, men and women.
Correct. And a part of the self love journey is understanding that you don't chase, you attract. You know? So even within my work and knowing what I had to do there, I knew that I also had to make a change when it comes to who I would choose to talk to, or because you just gotta be real with yourself, you know? Some of it just be liking the same type of guy all the time, or you would trauma bond with people because I got this thing where because I know I went through stuff, I like to talk to people and things. Sometimes you're just trauma bonding.
I, Funny enough, I was looking up that term very recently because you're using it in the way I used to use it because I thought that's what it meant. But trauma bonding is actually a newer term for Stockholm syndrome, where it is your abuser that abuses you but also comforts you.
Right.
And so you learn to bond with the abuser because he's also the source of comfort.
Well, I guess I could have been there too.
But I think what Gaynelle is really referring to is when you have shared trauma,
Right.
and you create a connection,
A
out
connection
of the
for a
shared
person.
trauma.
Right. Well, not that I've been abused like, physically, but we start abuse in all kind of forms.
No,
for
yes,
people.
abuse is wide and trauma is wider than people think it
Correct.
is.
You understand? So it's like I would be that person where I would pour into people, pour into people, pour into people. And I've talked to people that you talking to this person or you trying to form a relationship with this person and you realize this person really don't like the person that you are.
Yes. Yes.
You understand? So all of them things was things that I had to do for me. So I say again now, you gotta marry yourself. Because you gotta love you first before somebody else can love you. You gotta appreciate yourself first before somebody else can appreciate you. And you also gotta understand that everybody that you think are for you is not for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I went totally into the space. I mean, people hear self love and hear marrying myself. They're like, this guy married yourself, you crazy. But I meant that I was coming as who I am and showing up as who I am, and then you would have to tell me if that's what you like or that's what you appreciate. You're not gonna come and try to change anything about me because they do it sometimes so subtly where it's like they put it in the air, then don't directly say I don't, but then you see by the actions them don't really like the person that you are, you know. And that is beating on your self esteem and things without you even realizing. I think that was one of the things that happened too in my body and stuff like that, being small and stuff. I know I don't ever care. You know? Like,
because when you start to appreciate you for you, flaws and all, and a big part of that is understand not everybody is going to you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
Correct.
And that's okay. Because too many times we try to contort ourselves to
Yes.
become the tea.
Yeah.
And you're less likely to give into self abandonment when you start to appreciate all parts of yourself.
And I realized I was used to pick at myself a lot and this here, and then I had to be like, no, however you are, you will love yourself. However, and I realized it got worse when I start to really be on myself that journey because it was almost like God was saying, no, I can take you to a space where you are uncomfortable. So I went from 132 to 113. 132 was my height and 99 was where it used to be. So I dropped all the way back to 113. That's so far for somebody that was actually trying to gain weight, you know? And I used to be like, I start changing the way I dress. Like once I was smaller, I wouldn't want to wear nothing close fitting or nothing because I feel like, all right, you look too small or whatever. And I thought what I really want to wear.
Good.
You know? Good. You get to that point, but it was a process. It definitely was a process.
So did you find that your taste in friendships and in men changed when you started to heal?
Yeah, and also not only my taste, but I started to attract a different kind of person.
Yes?
Yeah, because you know they say that laws of attraction are real. People come out and look for love and stuff, but you are supposed to nurture you and then love will come. So, the kind of men that probably would have been attracted to me or I was attracted to before change, friends would obviously fall off. not that you're enemies,
but you're in different spaces
yeah,
now.
you're different people, and then sometimes you have to respect that they might be also going through what you was going through. So sometimes people just go apart because it's them trying to look internally and we try to take certain things personal, and when people are working on the self and stuff like that, but because you're not here, your friend doesn't mean that doesn't love you anymore. It just needs to take time to work on them. And that's why I love my friends so much. My oldest friend is actually same age as me. We are 34, we was friends from Pampers. And you got sometimes I don't hear shit for weeks, but then when we hear each other or see each other, it's like nothing ever happened because all two of us give ourselves space. Understand that you got your life to live, I got my life to live, but we can come back together all the time. And that is the kind of person I feel like I'm not one of those people that you cannot crow me. I do like cleanliness. I like a lot independent. I used to go to the beach with myself and sit on a sketch. I ain't gotta check in with nobody. And I think too that that's one of the things that came with my self love. I had to realize, you for the time you small as a girl, everybody does surround being a female with getting married and making children and stuff like
Your
that.
whole self worth is wrapped up in that.
Mind. Even stories of being a princess. The only way that she's living happily ever after was because the prince find her at the end.
There you go. That's why they call it happily ever after. They don't put it before she finds the prince, Okay.
Correct.
Good.
So I had to realize that you are not somebody that even some people is wait from relationships to straight. Not me. I've always been one of those persons that just be single long periods of time and be good.
Yeah.
Same way I say you got people that believe in things like polygamy and don't believe in being with one person.
Right.
There are people that believe that could survive on their own and being in their own space and happy too.
Right.
But then when you see things on the net and say people is even use single as an insult. That way you're single.
Yeah.
And I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that eventually whoever's supposed to be with me will come.
Right.
But you just gotta love on you in the meantime.
Right.
Yeah, so all those things I had to start to just shed all what they were saying, the world's limitations. All the things like a lot of women I remember growing up, two people was telling me all the time, what you waiting for? Look what age you is and you don't got no child yet. What you want? Live my life for me. You feel like, and then sometimes you feel like if you don't unnecessarily, because people ask me all the time if I want kids, and I say I don't know. It's not a solid thing. I've never been one of those people that grow up a girl and be like, I always wanted to be a mommy.
Right.
Right. So you just have to love yourself and realize you are who you are. You can fill spaces who you are without meeting other people's expectations.
And if your life never changes from this, you'll still be fine.
I will be fine,
And you could, I try to tell people that love is expansive. Love is no one thing or one person. You can get it from the cat. You can get it from the dog. You can get some of the most fulfilling love from your friendships and from good parent-child relationships. But we've been raised that the ultimate form of love is romantic.
From a partner, correct.
And if you don't have it, you often get tunnel vision and miss all the love you're surrounded with that could be helping you to live a more fulfilling life if you just absorb it, hold it, and thrive through it. But you're just depressed because we never have no pitney or we never married. And we need to, especially as women, move outside of this definition. Be willing to have those hard conversations. You had mentioned that earlier, that you had to have. What were some of these hard conversations?
I had to address me thinking that I wasn't good enough. I really had to address me thinking I wasn't good enough. People all the time would say to me, I love your energy, and I had to analyze those things too, because sometimes when people say things like I love your energy, they only love how you make them feel. They don't love you, They only love how you make them feel. So you had to do things like get certain people from, and that's hard because as you say, you go through a mourning period. You love these people, you grow to love people, but some people aren't for you. So those are serious conversations. Whether it be family, friends, because a lot of people get mixed up. Family is not blood for me. That's related. That's related. Family for me is trust, loyalty, people who are going to be there for you to also tell you the real, because you need those friends that are going to say you do it jump. Some of us don't want nobody to want yes people around us. You can't want no yes people around you.
You can't grow without criticism.
No.
I would ask you in closing, what would you say to someone who might be who you were at 30, 31, where there was a sense in that there needed to be more and you didn't know how to find it? What guidance would you give them on how to move past that rut?
I would say look internally. Start to address the things that make you tick because often that is your fuel, right? It might seem very frivolous, whatever it is. It might be writing, it might be dancing, it might be singing, it might be cosplaying. You know, some people have all kind of things that people may deem as weird or different or whatever. Whatever it is you. And anybody that could do you the best is you. You know, you are the person to live your life. Your life is your life, not nobody else's. Do not let anybody put any limitations on you. And also, energies are very important. A lot of the time, we don't realize that the people that we often talk to have around us are the ones who are holding us back. Do not be afraid to move away from spaces, from people, and definitely don't be afraid to address your mental health. Even if you need to talk it out inside the mirror, talk to God, and you don't necessarily want to get and go to a therapist, because some people, got a whole thing with that. But address whatever it is that you feel might be possibly holding you back. Because oftentimes, when you do get over that hurdle, you realize that it was really just frivolous.
This was beautiful. This was so beautiful. I mean, we cried,
Yes,
we
we
laughed,
laughed.
we shared on a very deep level, and we seem to have quite a bit in
In
common.
common, yes.
Gaynelle, thank you so much for
You're
coming.
welcome. Thank you.
I really enjoyed
Me
this.
too.
I hope you enjoyed it too. I hope you took away some important gems. I remember it's a recording, so you can rewind, fast forward, play, go to the part that spoke to you the most, and you can put it down and play it at a later date. If you feel you're in this awakening period of your life, don't run from it, don't shelf it. Allow yourself to be open to it. It might be a little uncomfortable and difficult emotions come with it, but it is ever so rewarding. And if you can walk through that path, you find a better version of yourself. You find a better version and more stable version of your mental health and fulfillment, a form of fulfillment in your life. So thank you for watching. I want to remind you that the information in the episode is not intended to replace medical or professional advice. And particularly if you're suffering with a mental illness, we do encourage you to seek help from any of these perhaps hotline numbers that are here or any other trusted therapist, resource, or online resource. So until next time, remember to make your mental health a priority. Bye now.